I believe it's a tedious process and you need someone to guide you through. And if you can do it yourself, good, but I think you need someone to guide you. One thing that is sinking in is that I'll be away from my parents, which is not a big deal, but I'll be away from my friends, which is
A bigger deal?
yeah, a bigger deal.
Okay. Today we have with us Riya Singh, and she's going to Queen's Mary, University of London, for the MSc Psychology program. Okay, and today we are just going to have few questions with her, just to get to know her more about her process and how she's feeling right now and everything. Right. So let's start. Right. So hi Riya. So welcome to the latest podcast. So the first question, of course, right, when we are talking to a student, of course, be it at any stages, why study abroad? Because I remember when you came to us, you were already in your final year of your master's degree, right? So you already had your master's degree, but then again you wanted to go abroad and study, right? So yes, the first question, why study abroad?
My major motive to study abroad is to gain an international exposure. I am really looking forward to go there, learn about different cultures, learn about the field of mental health, how things work abroad, like how things are different from India. And I also kind of wanted to have an exposure of how this industry works there and then learn and apply those skills but after I come back to India and practice them as well. So, yeah.
Okay, so another question, like when you thought about applying to universities abroad, right? So how did you get started with it? Like, did you ever have this thing in your mind that do I even need a counselor, or this, because this is not an industry that a lot of students know about, right? Coming from this background. So why from where did you start? Did you ever thought about applying yourself?
No, I didn't.
So you never thought about applying yourself?
No,
So you
because
always knew about there's something called an education counselor, career guidance
yeah.
platform, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I have not known anybody who has gone to abroad to study, like nobody in my connections. So I personally didn't know about the process, how things go, what all documents are needed for the same and everything. So I knew that I would be needing somebody's help to guide me through for the process. So we started to research what all companies or what all agencies are there who send students abroad and everything about it. And then we got to know about Taste My Breath, we visited, and then we had conversations with few people, and then we finally decided on moving ahead with you guys.
Okay, now if I'm not wrong, I remember like you have there's some of your, I think, father's contact, who has done his study abroad process, and they recommended someone to you, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what was the reason, like choosing Ace My Prep over and above that particular counselor? What was that deciding point for you?
Yeah. So that particular agency, like counselor, they are like highly expensive. Like they charge a lot, and comparatively, Ace My Prep was not charging
So
that
what was the
much.
range in which they were charging?
It was like above 2 lakhs.
2 lakhs. Okay.
So it was a bit costly for us.
Hmm.
Um, so we like finally decided, like after talking to Ace My Prep, you guys were almost providing us all the things that they were claiming to provide. So we kind of move ahead with this.
Correct, correct, correct. So I think now this would be the right question to ask you, since you have completed your process. You are, I think, in your visa stage. You're about to get your visa. So now the right question would be that, do you really think that students going abroad actually need a counselor, or they can do it all by themselves as well?
I believe, like after all the processes that we've been through, I believe it's a tedious process, and you need someone to guide you through. And if you can do it yourself, good. But I think you need someone to guide you.
Okay. Now, Riya, if I'm talking about your course, like MSc Psychology, so whatever experience I have and whatever number of students I have interacted with, right? So I've always felt that the students going for the psychology program are always worried about two things. First is, of course, your future prospects, right? And second is about the licensure,
Yeah.
right? So I'm sure that while when you were exploring about studying abroad, there will be a lot of countries in your mind. So right. So how did you get clarity on that, and what role did Ace My Prep give you? Okay, played while making you finalize a country around these two particular points: future prospects, then licensure.
Firstly, we were planning on to apply for universities in the US, and we did that as well. But after a point, like I and my brother, like we realized that psychology courses does not come under the STEM. So even after completing a 2 year degree, we only get 1 year to stay back, and then
Correct, correct.
the return of investment and everything. So we like had a conversation amongst ourselves, and we thought like we should also think about other countries which are providing like psychological psychology courses, and then see what country also would fit the best for us. And then we also talked to you guys, and you were also kind of made us aware about the UK universities and how things work over there. And then finally we decided that we would go to UK, and we applied to UK universities. Really like got accepted to one of them as well.
Okay, so now particularly talking about UK, right? So we we actually market ourselves. I would say SMAPrep is known to be a career guidance platform rather than being just an education counselor, right? So how much do you think that this thing is actually justified? Did you get your career guidance, entire career guidance blueprint from SMAPrep? Did you have at least the clarity that what will you be doing after, let's say, 2 3 years after completing your masters? Do you have that much clarity?
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, very much. Like, Ace
Because if
Method.
I'm not wrong, sorry to cut you, if
Yeah.
I'm not wrong, there's not a lot of data available on the internet either, right,
Mm.
around this psychology.
That's true. So Ace Method literally like helped me improve my CV. They told me what all courses would be better for me to add to my CV and enhance my resume and everything. Also, they guided me well to know about what next step should I take after completing this degree. Like as you said about the licensure, I was told that either I can go for a clinical psychology program to get a license, or I can enroll into a PhD program, which will obviously happen after I complete this master's. But yes, I kind of have an image of what next to do, which is very
Well, you have,
helpful.
you know the routes, right?
Yeah.
Not sure about which route you will be taking, but you know the routes, right? So if I ask you, like, which of the two routes will you be taking? Like the PhD one or the other one?
I think I'll go for clinical psychology.
Clinical psychology route.
Yeah.
Okay. Why so? Why not PhD?
Because I just completed one master's of mine in which I did a dissertation. I was completely
So you're
exhausted.
done with this PhD thing, right? You'll have to study like I think already it's going to be a second master, so going for another PhD is going to be very hectic, right? Okay. So Riya, the next thing is of course I think your process was particularly being handled by the founder of the company, right? One of the co-founders, Pragya Sharma. So how was your experience with her? Because what I have heard, I think I have not taken counseling from her particularly, but what I have heard from the students is that right, she is someone that can give you a lot of clarity around things. I think she's known for giving you clarity. Yeah. So how was the experience with her?
It was wonderful. She's very sweet. Like she used to treat
Okay,
me
she's
like
very sweet. Can you just define what sweet
yeah.
means?
She used to treat me like her younger sister. It was really nice. She guided me very well. She helped me on every step. Like all my, minute, even my minute doubts were cleared by her, which was like I am a person who kind of gets anxious very easily. Like I want to know what's happening next, and if I don't know what's happening next, I get really anxious. So that was taken care of, and that was like the biggest support. I believe I would have not survived these past months if she was not there. Yeah.
Okay. Now, particularly talking about the university that you have chosen, right, Queen's Mary. So, what was that the thing that made you close in on this university? I mean, how many applications did you make to UK?
I made almost like seven applications.
Applications to particularly UK,
Yeah.
right? You're saying. Okay. So, what made you close in on Queen's Mary? Because definitely this is, I think, in London. It's part of the University of London.
Yeah.
So, were these two the main factors, or there was something more to it?
Definitely more. Like Queensmary University is a really reputed university. A, B, it's like it is a campus university, which obviously makes it like have a positive towards it because everything is on the campus. It also has like some really great counseling and mental health services within the campus, which definitely opens a lot of opportunities for me as a psychology student. I really love the university. I saw
Okay.
like yeah,
The campus, I think,
the
is very
campus is
beautiful,
very
right?
beautiful. Yeah,
The location itself, I think London is the
yeah,
go-to place, right,
yeah.
for every international student. So yes. So Riya, if I ask you right towards the end, if we come towards the end of this podcast, right? So I would definitely love to know that where do you envision yourself, right? After this degree, you must be having like something in mind that 10 years down the line, I would want to work in this country, this city, at this position. So what is your dream?
I definitely see myself like working as a therapist, like
Okay.
being of help to people. I really envision myself at that level, and like yeah, I want to be able to help people, and that gives me satisfaction. Like seeing myself there, helping people um, come out of their whatever they're going through, being able
Correct,
to
correct.
be of their help.
So Riya, if I ask you, right, what is that one thing that you learned from your counselor?
So she is always on the go. She
Hmm.
is like she really wants things to be done in the perfect manner, which I really um, I really learned from her. She keeps a check on whatever tasks are to be done, and she makes sure that those tick marks are the checklist is tick marked. Yeah. So that is what I learned from her. Yeah.
Okay, because if I'm not wrong, I remember there was a point in your journey, right, when you got getting rejects from US, right?
Yeah.
And that was the time when Pragya took in the process and took hold of the process. So I think that must be like the most anxious stage throughout the
Yeah.
process, right? So how did you cope up with that first one? Because I know a lot of students think that this is an easy process, but this is not. This is like any year of process. You have to go through ups and downs, but your counselor is always there for you. So I would really love to know how did you go come out of that anxious stage of the process and finally are here sitting with the university finalized. How did you get it with that and what was the role of your counselor in that?
Yeah, so like literally that was the most, uh, I would not use the word depressing, but that was not a good state that I was in at that point of time. But yeah, all my, I was taken good care of. Like I was very anxious, but I was assured that I am at the right place and I will be taken good care of. So even after that, like when we went on to planning, applying to the UK universities in the UK, I was assured that we have enough time, we will get through it. Yeah, we we got through it.
Okay, okay. I think there's been enough of these, academic serious questions. But let's come to the little fun part. Okay, so apart from studying at the university and your career, I think there must be a few things. I think you will be going to London for the first time, right? So there must be a few things that you would be very excited about, right? कुछ कपड़े खरीदने या कहीं घूमना हो, meeting someone, something has to be there. So what is going on in your mind right now, honestly, apart from university and studying?
Nothing much really. I mean, it's still sinking in.
Okay, that you're finally going to London.
Yeah. So I am one thing that I am that is sinking in is that I'll be away from my parents, which is not a big deal, but I'll be away from my friends, which is
A bigger deal?
yeah, a bigger deal.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I'll have FOMO, like what is happening here, but it's okay, I'll have fun.
Okay, I think you're still not reached that stage of exploring.
Yeah.
You're still taking things.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's pretty